In this video, we discuss several scientific theories. These theories are selected because they lay the foundation for conclusions made within the song. The first theory is the Big Bang theory. Under this theory, about 13.5 billion years ago, an explosion occurred at some point, and from that point, the universe was created. Within a few minutes, the universe was the size of a grapefruit. This theory is accepted as the theory that explains the birth of our universe. The theory builds on our present observations that galaxies are moving away from each other. No explanation is offered as to what preceded the Big Bang. The main reason the theory has gained acceptance is because we continue to observe the expansion of the universe. It has been decided that no information preceding the Big Bang survived, that the Big Bang marks the inception of our universe. This theory exists because we as humans find it necessary that everything must have a start, and the Big Bang marks the start of our universe. Another reason this theory exists is because we don't have any other viable alternative. For reasons discussed later in this video, this may be an error. Another viewpoint is that the universe has always been here, that we cannot go back to a time in the history of the universe when there was no universe, and then the Big Bang occurred. The second theory discussed here is the theory of natural selection, or the survival of the fittest. Charles Darwin advanced the theory of natural selection, and today it is an accepted theory among scientists. The theory of natural selection can best be explained by an example. Let's say some giraffes are living in a forest. There is a dry year and lack of vegetation follows. Trees that are short are consumed by short giraffes, and soon there is no low-hanging branch. Short giraffes die of hunger. Long-necked giraffes eat the top branches, inaccessible to short giraffes, and survive. The long-necked giraffes mate and they have children that have even longer necks. It is said that the long-necked giraffes are fit to survive the shortage of food. The theory of natural selection has direct implications on humans. For example, the male humans are attracted to beautiful women. As they mate, human race is becoming more and more beautiful. Men avoid sex with ugly women and seek sex with beautiful women. As the result, ugly men and women die, but beautiful men and women have sex and survive. But this analysis would not be complete if we only consider beauty as the only factor attracting men and women to each other. At least some beautiful women seek ugly men because the man is wealthy and brings financial security to that woman. In fact, one of the wealthiest men in the planet is a bald man. Many women prefer to be with an ugly man who offers financial security to her rather than dating a handsome man who has no money. Theories have been advanced that the poor may have to die because they are not fit to survive in the complex new financial world. We will now discuss how life began on Earth. There are theories on how life began on Earth or anywhere. British philosopher Bertrand Russell has advanced the most compelling theory. Matter consists of atoms, electrons orbiting the nucleus of an atom. An electron can take many orbits. Let's look at a simple atom, the hydrogen atom, where the electron can take one of two orbits, orbit A or orbit B. The electron is either in orbit A or in orbit B and never between the two orbits. What is puzzling is that an electron may take an orbit, but we cannot definitively predict the next orbit it will take. It is like flipping a coin. We flip a coin and get 50% head and 50% tail. This is the law of averages. But at any particular flip, we can't be certain if the outcome. You may flip a coin 5 times and get head 5 times, but this does not guarantee you're about to get a tail on the next flip. In fact, it has been calculated that to flip a coin and get heads or tail 100 times in a row, you must flip that coin this many times, one with 18 zeros in front of it. If you flip a coin that many times, you may get a sequence where you get head or tail 100 times in a row. The law of averages work in every department of life. For example, there's a percentage of elementary students who miss school in October every year. That number is very steady year after year. Little Johnny gets up one day in October and he just doesn't want to go to school. His mother, who is getting tired of his attitude and doesn't want to fight him, tells him he can stay home for the day. Little Robert doesn't want to go to school either because he is sick, and he is really sick. The final result is that a specific percentage of elementary students miss school in October every year, and the averages remain steady year after year. Looking at the history of our planet, there was a time when all conditions were perfect. At a certain point, all the protons and electrons lined up in exact orbits. Suddenly, we had a living matter, meaning the organism could reproduce. You may argue the chances for so many electrons to be in exact orbits is extremely low, and you are correct. But in a universe the size of ours, it did happen. The chances of it happening on planet Earth was higher because the conditions were right. There was water on the planet, and the temperatures were perfect. We got really lucky. It's like you go to Las Vegas and you put all your money on the roulette table where the chances are about 3% for your number to come up. Your number did come up. And you took all your winnings and put it on another number, and your number came up again. And you continued this process for several hundred times. By the end of the day, you were a billionaire, and the casino filed for bankruptcy. Is that possible? Yes. Is it probable? No, not at all. The law of averages ensures that the casino wins, or they wouldn't be in business. The point is that life started on Earth or somewhere else because some electrons or protons lined up at the perfect orbits. The next question in the minds of many is if there is life elsewhere in the universe. Some are convinced that life exists in some other place in the universe. The problem is that we are too far away from everything else to make a definitive statement. We just can't be sure. If life came to Earth through an asteroid, it is likely that life also exists elsewhere in the universe. However, some have maintained life may exist exclusively on Earth. We just don't have enough info at this time. You may be offended by a notion that life started by an accidental placement of some electrons in certain orbits, for your religion may tell you God created life and everything followed. So, let's talk about God. More directly, we ask the question, is there a God? Well, that depends on how you define God. One theory of God is that whatever we have in this universe is God. The table you are sitting at is God. The chair you are sitting in is God. The sun you see in the sky is God. This means when you look at yourself, you are looking at God. And that is where the problem starts. Because if you are God, so was Hitler. And most are offended by that notion. Another theory explains God in reverse, like this. There are things in the world, your kitchen table, the chair you're sitting in, and the entire planet Earth. These are just things. All of these things occupy a space, an empty space. It is said that the empty space is God, because that empty space allows everything else to exist within that space. Without that empty space, none of these objects can exist. Therefore, the empty space is God. The problem with humans is that we are trying to understand things beyond our comprehension. This example illustrates this point. There are butterflies born on a day in the spring. They die within 24 hours after birth. Some live for 2 or 3 days. None can live beyond a week. Let's assume this butterfly is very smart as us humans. This butterfly can never figure out that it's born on a spring day, will die in a day or two, that the spring season will be followed by a hot summer leading to fall and a freezing winter. That the following spring more beautiful butterflies will come out of the eggs she laid. This butterfly can never figure out the butterfly cycle because it has no time. Now, if the butterfly started a university and did research and archived the findings for the next generation of butterflies, and was able to have machines to monitor the weather for the next 3 seasons, then the butterflies could solve the mystery of seasons. The point is that the butterfly can never solve the mystery of seasons because the butterflies die too quickly. We as humans are like those butterflies. While we seem to know much, we can't know some of the very basics of life. It is estimated that the sun will explode in about 4 to 10 billion years. It is certain life will vanish at that time, if not sooner. Because of the distances between planets, the chances for humans to leave planet Earth for another destination is slim to none. This is because our universe is huge. We will now make an attempt to illustrate the vastness of our universe. Light travels at the speed of 186,000 miles per second. The light from Moon takes 1 second to reach Earth. Light from the Sun takes 8.5 minutes to reach Earth. We are in the solar system, and the next star to the Sun is Alpha Centauri. It takes light 4.5 years to reach Earth from Alpha Centauri. We are in a galaxy called the Milky Way. It takes light 200,000 years to cross the Milky Way. Humans have been reading and writing for only 3,000 years. But the light to cross our Milky Way galaxy takes 200,000 years. In fact, we don't even know the shape of our own galaxy. We are only guessing the shape of our galaxy. We look at other galaxies and we think, our galaxy must look like those galaxies. To get a clear idea of the shape of our galaxy, we need to send a spaceship to outside our galaxy and have it take a picture of our galaxy and send it to us. Well, good luck with that, as it takes several thousand years for light to travel across our galaxy, and that is light. A machine built by humans will take much longer, if it can make such a journey at all. While we as humans are making great advances, we can't overcome restrictions imposed by the speed of light. Our machines barely have a fraction of the speed of light, and while it is certain the speed of our machines will increase, we just can't get close to the speed of light. This poses limitations on what can know. There are other matters that we can never know. We can never know what happens after we die. For thousands of years, man has speculated on what happens after we die. Some maintain that man is reborn after death, with a caveat that while the man is reborn after death, he has no memory of previous life. Others believe we die and start a second life after death, that we go to another place and live there, perhaps forever. That place is likely very crowded. These theories are attempts to explain afterlife because we just don't know what happens after we die. These theories also point to our human tendencies not wanting to accept death, hoping to live longer or forever. The ultimate truth is that we will never know what happens after we die, because no man ever died and came back to tell us. The bigger truth is that life is only meaningful because we know we are certain to die. It is good that mankind dies, because we are certain Hitler died too. The point of the song and this video is to illustrate the point of life, because there may be a point in life amid the chaos we encounter, with a caveat that life may be without purpose. Before we continue our discussion of why mankind is on this planet and what is the point of life, we will discuss how the various versions of the song were created. Initially, the song was done in Persian and English. Because life has no purpose, the name of the people who wrote the song is withheld, for they will die soon enough. Until then, please forward this channel to others you may know. Later, a man in Spain wrote the Spanish words. At the same time, a woman in Argentina submitted her version of the Spanish words. By then, Mariela, a young woman from Costa Rica who lived in Los Angeles, was chosen to sing the Spanish song. Mariela wrote her own version of the Spanish words. On the eve of recording the Spanish song, a man named Jean from Ecuador submitted his version of the Spanish words. Mariela decided that the Spanish version by Jean from Ecuador was the best, and this is how the Spanish song was created. The Chinese words were written by a beautiful young Chinese woman who was a UCLA student at the time. She wrote the Chinese words and came to the studio and performed the Chinese version of the song. The song addresses important issues facing the mankind. The first is why mankind is here on this planet. We don't have the answer to this question, nor does it appear in sight. Some religious people believe that we are here to pray to God. Most people in the West, particularly America, spend their lives to accumulate wealth. Most Americans spend a lifetime making money, just to die and leave it all behind. So the point of life cannot be to work a lifetime, accumulate wealth, and die. And this brings us to the main point of the song. According to the song, the main reason we are here is to love. This point is illustrated in the chorus. Ever since you are gone, time seems so long, passing me, and I see, end of all time, leaving me behind, leading a moving line, million miles long. The main point of life, according to the song, is to love someone. The song is not clear about the gender of the parties, as English is not a gender-specific language. The point is, we are here to love. There are many joys in life. We can eat amazing food. We visit amazing places on the planet. We can visit the nature. We can read amazing books and novels. We can listen to beautiful music. But nothing in life comes close to making love to a woman. The act of making love to a woman is the ultimate gift of life. No joy in life comes close to the joy of making love to a woman. Making love to a woman is the true meaning of love. Absent such love, life is not worth living. For without a lover, time passes you by and leaves you behind. It is in the agony of living without a lover that we find a purpose in life. The ultimate gift of life is for man to place himself inside a woman. And that is the true meaning of love.